Let's talk about escaping dogma. So, this topic was inspired by somebody that I did a tutoring session with this morning, although it's months ahead because I'm very, very far ahead in my videos. Speaking of which, if you guys want to request a video topic, just put it in the comments or you can email me. So, what is dogma? Let's start with that. So, dogma, as defined by a simple Google search, is a principle or set of principles laid down by an authority as incontrovertibly true. So, what I'm talking about here is those of us that have grown up in major religions, being taught those things, or maybe we are converting over to um, paganism, Wicca, witchcraft from a major religion or any other religion. How do we get those ideas that are so ingrained out of our heads? And how do we acclimate to the idea that something that we're interested in, such as witchcraft or paganism or what have you, even being able to do magic, um, how do we escape the idea that it's wrong, or how do we break that stuff down? So, obviously, if you're interested in paganism and witchcraft, you already might have done some research on how magic helps you to change different things in your life, and that there are many other beliefs than the ones that you've grown up around in, like in the major, like Abrahamic religions and other ones. And I'm I have my foot on my soapbox, so I might rant a little bit, but spirituality is personal freedom. Religion is societal control. And the biggest thing that I can say is do your research on major religions. And it seems kind of counterintuitive about the idea of you want to practice something else other than major religions, but if you want to just understand where you're coming from, research it super heavily. I mean, I went to private school growing up. I grew up with my mother's side is Lutheran, my dad's side is Catholic, whatever. And I mean, I kind of got fortunate because it wasn't exactly that pushed that much on me. Because when I was one Sunday, I just basically flat out refused to go to church anymore because I found it kind of boring and stuff. Ironically, now I find any type of spirituality to be super fascinating. And that's my bread and butter. I love digging into this stuff. And if you look at the Bible and you really look at it, you can find so many hypocrisies where in one page it says something, in one page, and then in another page it says a complete contradiction of it. If you also look into things like the Council of Nicaea, you will notice that there have been times when people have changed the wordings of the Bible. If you understand that the Bible is literally just a collection of writings that were voted on and put into one book that they called the Bible, there are tons of other books, other stories that were left out. Why? Because it doesn't paint a societal picture, like the Gospel of Mary, where Jesus had a wife. And if you think about it, Jesus being a rabbi, if you back then, you basically had to have kids to be a rabbi so you could pass it on. So it's very out of the ordinary to have someone who is a single rabbi. And even I forgot the name of the scripture, but the it was damaged in a perfect way, a perfectly horrible way, where it was talking about how Jesus greeted Mary and he kissed her on the, and this part is ripped or redacted. So there's no evidence of, to concretely say um, that he was married or whatever because that was conveniently left out. But culturally, that's how it works. You can also dig into the different stories, like the flood myth. Mesopotamians had it first. Creation story. Mesopotamians had it first. Every kind of story you find in the Bible, there's an echo of it in earlier mythology. It's all plagiarism. It's all copy pasted stuff like that. And even look at the different religion stuff. The Book of Enoch is totally knocked and disregarded by a lot of different faiths, but the Christian Church of Ethiopia or Catholic Church of Ethiopia, I don't know, but either way, their Bible has the Book of Enoch in it. So it's really just to pick and choose what they want to believe. That's effectively what has been done, what has happened. And you also have the freedom to pick and choose what you want to believe. So you got to not only research the different religions and stuff to give you an idea of the fact that there are way more faiths out there and way more beliefs out there than what you have focused on or what you have been brought up in, but to give you an idea of these are all stories. They are all ways that people connected with the divine, connected with spirituality. There's so many different methods of doing so, and you, if you're picking and deciding to do Wicca, paganism, witchcraft, demonology, whatever, you are also making that choice. And my mom said it best, if it's important to have a spiritual system. If you don't have spirituality, you aren't whole, and it is your choice to do so. I remember when I was like 22 or something, and I quote came out of the broom closet to my mom, and she was actually happy about it, because she knew I wasn't exactly that spiritual and stuff before, but then I found paganism, and here I am many years later doing this YouTube channel thing with a bunch of books that I wrote on witchcraft and all this, and it's true. Having a spirituality really does make you whole, at least in my opinion. But the big thing is surround yourself with a bunch of other religions and stuff, get to understand them, and you'll get to see all the differences and choices and make your choice on what you want to believe in, what you want to go with. The number one indicator of what faith you have is where you were born. Now, this really speaks to the idea that religion and spirituality is more of a geographical thing than anything else. And we are here, we don't necessarily have any, quote, proof of what happens afterwards. So, you know, enjoy this while you have it and don't practice something you're uncomfortable with. That sucks. It's like living with a toothache, you know? And it's such an important thing to have a spiritual system. Dive into that spiritual system that you choose, paganism, witchcraft, whatever, and understand those rules. You kind of have to wrap your head around them and put it into a daily practice. The more that you practice it, the more that you will become comfortable with it, and the more you will begin to acclimate with it. The more that you practice, the more comfortable you get, and the more that it'll feel like, a new pair of shoes. Feel stiff at first, and then it starts to feel more comfortable. You can still bring in morals and things from your past religion and whatnot. And, it's still like if you don't want to cause anybody any harm or whatever, sure, feel free. You might shy away from bindings and hexes and curses and stuff like that. That's fine. The idea that you have to wrap your head around is it is all a choice, and it is a choice that you apparently want to make, and you have every right to make. If your family disagrees with it, don't bring up that subject. And if they don't respect your personal choices, then I hate to break it to you, but they weren't respecting you as a whole person to begin with. If they don't want you to make your own choices in life, then they, of course, are going to get upset when you do. And this world is yours. Your universe starts with you and it echoes and goes outside of you. You create your own experience. And that's the biggest thing that magic has to teach us, is that everything around us is our responsibility and we can change it, rather than begging to some big invisible person in the sky who we don't even know the proper name of and asking for his help. My biggest analogy that I've used before, if you've watched this channel, is there's a cookie jar. You want a cookie. Having a religion is like asking someone else to get you the cookie jar. Having spirituality is like saying, I'm going to go and grab that cookie jar and I'm going to get myself some cookies by myself and I don't need anybody else to help me. It's a direct connection with your spirituality and with the divine that you want to experience, choose to experience, and it allows such a better ownership. Now, people that feel 100% comfortable with whatever major religion they're in, that's fabulous. They have their own spirituality. But yours apparently, if you choose paganism and witchcraft, is different, and you should take pride in that. Surround yourself with people that that work with the same kind of stuff that you do, that believe the same kind of stuff that you do. Immerse yourself in it. And, you know, a lot of times it's the people that surround us that might make us feel uncomfortable. It's like a witch in a gaggle of Christians. You're going to feel uncomfortable, you know? So there's a big community out there that will welcome you in and really teach you on stuff. I'm talking, you know, my Facebook group, there's plenty of other Facebook groups, there's, you know, witchcraft and paganism groups on Reddit, there's even get-together groups probably in every state and even in every country, and connect with some people and, you know, dive right in. So become a scholar of spirituality and you'll really understand the bigger picture rather than the smaller picture that you're in. You can bring in morals from your old religion if you like, or you can abandon them completely. The idea is understand that everything is a choice and it's your choice to make. Good hunting. Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.